Hi everyone, Simon Keeling here, Thursday the 20th of December. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. As always, the sites get free of charge by the adverts that you see across the screen, and by you coming back, that's what generates revenue that keeps us free of charge, and by you also coming through and using the sites, using the various charts, that's what means that we don't have to charge for the site. Added some new features on there as well during this last week. You'll have seen the radar picture. This is the radar picture from today. You get it by just go to the weatherweb.net homepage, and then across the top here you see radar. Click on radar and it brings you up the radar image updated every 15 minutes. And a massive rain across the UK today. The yellow colour showing us where the heaviest of the rain is, but you really can see just stacks of rainfall. And what's been interesting today, I think, is seeing these holes in the radar as well, and these look as if they're rain shadow effects. So really interesting to see how the high ground breaks up rain, isn't it? Particularly when we get a day like today with so much rain affecting the country. Now, not only can you get that, but if you go down the left hand side here, look, so under here, under UK Met Office, you'll see I put cloud and rain and temperature forecasts on there as well. So what you can do, if you click on the high res rain, what that does is it brings you up the high res UK Met Office radar forecast for the next 36 hours. And it shows you where rain is likely to be. So all you do is you load up the series of charts like that, then you click on next down the bottom left hand corner here, and you can see how the rain pulls away during the next 24 hours or so. It's useful for getting a feel for when you're likely to be seeing dry spells coming through, and of course when more rain is going to arrive. And you'll notice here it brings rain in down to the southwest. So if we use this forecast for now, you'll notice here this is the forecast for 9 o'clock this morning, based on the 9 o'clock run of the model from this morning. And as we move it forward, you'll notice the rain just clearing its way northwards. This is 9 o'clock this evening, so still a massive rain across much of northern England, across Scotland and down into the northern parts of the Midlands as well. But the dry weather coming into the south here, look, during the early hours of the morning, it pushes its way northwards. So a much drier day forecast across the southern half of England and Wales and Ireland tomorrow, although still rain affecting Scotland, snow over the hills and some bits and pieces of rain for northwest England as well. But for most, Friday is dry, apart from 1 or 2 showers just affecting northern and west Wales, and you notice the afternoon becomes dry for western Scotland too, but stays wet out towards the east. But just look at this mass of rain down here coming back in to the southwest, heading its way northeastwards during the course of tomorrow evening. So yet more rain is on its way, and these yellow colours here showing us where we're expecting the heaviest of the rain to be. So you've got that facility as well now by going under UK Met Office, and it's there listed under the links that you see. You can also get the cloud and rain forecast, which is basically the rain overlaid onto the cloud forecast. So again, these go in 3-hour steps. There's the rainfall today, look, and as we go through, you'll notice the rain, there it is, pulling away. You'll notice the breaks in the cloud developing down to the south as that rain clears away. But then you'll also notice, look, here's the brighter spells for tomorrow afternoon just underneath here, but there's still lots of cloud around. But then look, here comes in all the other cloud ahead of the front down towards the southwest, and that moves in, so showing us that sunshine and clear skies are in short supply tomorrow. So I'm hoping that you'll find those charts useful, and you'll notice temperatures on there as well. Now let's just have a look. What did I want to show? Oh, I know what I wanted to show you. A couple of interesting things just up on. First up, this is the 7 to 10 day mean of the 500 millibar flow. You know I show these many days, and we've got the ECMWF on the left here, we've got the GFS on the right, and these are the charts valid from next Thursday to Sunday the 30th. And what's interesting is, notice the trough here on the ECMWF and the trough here that's showing up on the GFS2, and also this ridge that's across the northeastern parts of the states. But notice how the GFS makes far more, look, of this open wave trough developing off the eastern coast of Canada. And really, you notice here, look, the ECMWF doesn't really have it. It has an extension of this trough really down towards the south. So we do have this slight discrepancy between the two, and it's an interesting discrepancy because much depends on how this develops. Because if this ridge builds here and we get the trough going in here, then we get a colder, more unstable north or northwesterly flow through the UK, which brings cool conditions. Now if this feature here develops, that will whiz its way eastwards. Okay, so that whizzes eastwards, then the ridge builds in and puts the trough through, and we go into cooler northwest conditions. But so the two probably reach the same point eventually in a kind of circular sort of way. But it's just interesting to see these developments, particularly when it's the GFS that wants to make things cooler, the ECMWF not quite so cool. And if you just take a look at that, this is the ECMWF 850 prediction, and you notice how temperatures are kind of up and down all over the place here in the early period, but then notice it does see a cooling off from around about the kind of 26th. It wants to cool things off a touch, but then compare that to the where are we? Yeah, compare this to, I don't want to show you that one just yet, this one, the GFS ensemble. Look, and this is the surface temperatures. Here we are going into Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Then we see this fall off in temperature, look, down here, and then we stabilise off going into New Year before we see this pick up again. So you see that through this period here next week, the GFS is notably cooler than the ECMWF, but both models are hinting at, and kind of we buy into this and have for some time, this cooling off from about Christmas Day onwards. Not cold, but just a cooling off in temperatures from Christmas Day onwards, and it looks like that's the way this is probably going to be panning out. Before we get there though, we've got lots and lots of wet weather on the way. Just show you this chart. This is the predicted rainfall for the week up to the 28th of December, and just look at this, 130 millimeters of rain, so 100 millimeters plus throughout this area. That is 4 inches of rain plus, okay, expected in that area. Across much of the country, you see these purple colours here indicating 50 millimeters plus, so it's 2 inches plus of rainfall during the week within that area. So certainly plenty of wet weather to come again during the course of this week. So what was I going to show? This was what I was going to show you, and I've got just a quick this is what I wanted to show as well. Interesting chart for you. Now I just put this together just to see how this compares, and what I've done is I've taken all the analog years. Okay, so I've taken the years that match up at the moment to this year as predicted in 8 days time from the GFS ensemble. So this was the prediction for the 28th of December, and then what I've done is look what happened 2 weeks later. So this effectively is 28th of December, takes us through to about the where are we? The 11th of January. Okay, so looked at what conditions might be like on the 11th of January if you take all of the analog years, the 10 analog years, and mean what the flow was like 2 weeks after the event, if you see what I mean, in 8 days time. So I've taken it forward 2 weeks from the 28th of December, and this is how things looked. Notice that this is the 500 millibar anomaly. Just look at that jet stream running through there. Okay, now then, look how far south it is still at the British Isles, and interestingly, look at these high heights up here. So high pressure is in there, look, and we've got a flow around the high like so. Okay, so we've got this cool northeasterly coming through Scotland. We would probably have had, if you took the mean of this flow, there would probably be something like, because we've got a low centre in here, so you would probably have a deep trough through here somewhere, and it would be shaped something like that. Okay, and then that would come back round this low like so, like that, and you'd have the return flow into the high of the heights there. So what that would do is that would put Scotland, Northern England in this northeasterly cooler flow around about the 9th. Yeah, it's about the 9th of January. Now if you can follow that and follow the strain of thought there, that points to our cold spell the 9th to 10th of January, which we've been talking about kicking in. So it strengthens this idea that it looks like somewhere I've got this idea in my mind of the 8th to the 12th of January going colder. Okay, and that points to that as well. It's just interesting. Use all these statistics and see what happens, and they keep backing up this idea of that date in January being colder. Okay, right, skip forward a little bit there. Let's just get back to the present time. Here's our low pressure that's affecting us this afternoon. Let's just knock forward, see what happens to that. That low is going to be clearing slowly eastwards during tonight and into Friday. Now for Friday we get a ridge of high pressure building in, so many of us are drier, although notice that the cloud and the rain just sticks up here in Scotland. Okay, then we find through Friday evening this next area of rain here, look, piling in from the southwest. Okay, so in it comes for Friday evening. It pushes its way eastwards gradually through Friday evening into the early hours of Friday morning, and really some heavy rain then passing through. Sorry, during Saturday morning, we should say. During Saturday morning the rain arrives, and then we find heavy rain, strong winds pushing eastwards through the country during Saturday, again reluctant to clear western, northern and eastern areas, and there is the risk again of snow affecting the hills of Scotland. So significant totals of rain again, a risk of flooding again for Saturday morning, and then overnight to Sunday the rain continues to affect Scotland, so more rain here, and down to the south it looks like the rain becomes lighter, although never really clears southern coasts, before the next batch of rain comes up across southern and eastern England for Monday morning. And then we find, look, rain clears Scotland, but another area of low pressure brings further rain as we head into Christmas Eve. For Christmas Day itself, ridge of high pressure is in very briefly, but then during the afternoon and evening looks like an area of rain slips into central and southern England, across Wales as well, as this low sweeps its way eastwards through the country. So it takes rain with it and showers, and it introduces briefly a colder northwesterly flow, so the temperatures start to fall. Then through Boxing Day we find rain clearing away from the east and brighter skies coming in from the west, but only to be followed by the 27th by cloud and rain sweeping in from the west. And you notice again as we get into the 28th, which is next Friday, storm force winds across the south, very windy conditions, rain sweeping its way eastwards. And what's interesting about that is that as that low moves east, it introduces a colder northwesterly flow, and we start to see the reduction in temperatures that was seen by the GFS look here, that reduction in temperatures that we're seeing here. So the stories, and I probably haven't told them very well, are stacking up. This idea of very unsettled, very wet, leading up to Christmas, then going cooler after Christmas Day, gradual cool off in temperatures during next week, and then hints of that the early part of January seeing a rise in temperatures, the winds go back into the west or the southwest. So it's only a brief colder snap next week, but then looking at this period from the 8th to the 12th of January as going colder, and that perhaps lasting for a 7 to 10 day proper cold snap. Loads of information there. Just wanted to show you what I was thinking at the moment. Private clients have been given far more detailed information about it, and hopefully the story was a bit clearer to them. But for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget we kept free of charge with the adverts you're seeing around the screen here, so thank you for coming back and using the site. You can follow us on Twitter at Weather School, or do a search on Facebook under Weather School Groups. So yeah, thanks again for watching. Keep the sun shining. Bye for now.